If you like what you see, please remember to like and subscribe. We are in the process of making Car Mad Dad a 100% non-for-profit charity. That means your likes and subscriptions can go a real way to making a real difference in people's lives. So if you like what you see, hit that like button, give me a subscribe, and I look forward to seeing you guys soon. Cheers. Hi guys, welcome back to Car Mad Dad. You join me here at Shelsley Walsh for another video. One of the questions I get asked an awful lot with regards to the M2 competition, to the work that I've had done on that car modification wise. So I decided to do a video, let you guys know what's been done and what's worked. Let's go check out the car and walk around what we've been doing. Come on. First stop for me was to Motech Performance. So Mike and the boys have done some work on the car. Suspension and spacers. So initially it was a spring and spacer setup. So that was the Eibach Springs, that drops the car 15mm, and TPR spacers, which just sort of bring the wheels out ever so much. So 12mm on the M2 Competition is what I believe they recommend at Motech. So that just sits the car down a little bit more squat, reduces the centre of gravity down, and brings the car out, so it just gives it that bit more with regards to handling. Makes a good difference to performance of the car, especially when you're talking about track in particular. The first question I always get asked by anyone after I've been to Motech is if that's ruined the ride. Now these cars come with horrifically harsh suspension as standard. They are built as track cars. So the Eibachs don't worsen the ride. If anything, I think they improve the ride ever so much. So the M Sport suspension that comes as stock is very thuddy, it's very instant. Whereas the Eibachs feel like they've got just a bit more progressive nature about them. First stop for me, Motech Performance, Eibach Springs and Spacers, worth every penny. Second thing you should then consider after having that work done is the alignment on the car. So recently I used a company called Suspension Secrets. Matt came to visit me at home, put a link to the video in the pop-up at the top. What Matt does is he'll come and check the toe-in and alignment of the wheels themselves. So once you've got yourself springed and spaced, he will completely unleash the potential of the car that's built in as standard. You don't need any aftermarket parts, you just need someone to come and titivate minute adjustments which transform the handling. So if you put that on top of what you already done on the suspension, you will transform the car night and day to how it came standard. So they're my number one, number two modifications that you should definitely consider. For number three, we need to come round a little bit further to the back. Sprint round! Okay, so whilst I was at Motech, the other thing that I wanted to have done, and I've wanted to have done on many of my cars for a long period of time, was to change the exhaust. So I've had the Remus Axleback system put onto the car. These are the exclusive Motech tips thanks to EU regulations. Cars these days are becoming more and more subdued. They have a number of boxes that they need to tick. The M2 Competition was a victim of that in comparison to the original M2 before it, which sounds fantastic stock, whereas this one, quite frankly, does not. And when you remove the original exhaust from under the bottom of the car and replace it with some good clear boxes, you can imagine that would have a pretty drastic effect on the sound that the car puts out, and you'd be absolutely right. It's my number three mod, but it's probably my favourite to say the least. The Remus system that comes from Motech comes with the valve, so the valve shuts and starts quieter and then can open, and that's when you really start to sort of hear the car sing. And when it was out on track only a couple of weeks ago now at Landau, we really saw the benefit of that, and the car sounded absolutely fantastic. So number three on the list is a Remus exhaust, well worth every penny, and yeah, definitely got a seal of approval from me. Okay, so for modification number four on the list, you're going to need to go and see Jak and the team at Royal Steering Wheels. These things cost over £500 from BMW direct. Jak costs £150 installed, and an Alcantara wheel is just one of those things that helps the whole experience feel a little bit more special. Everyone's got their own preferences. This one's got the M stitching on the inside and a blue line at 12 o'clock. You can do part leather, you can do thinner, fatter, whatever works, but well worth a look and not a huge expense either. So yeah, number four on the list, bit of Alcantara at the wheel. Right. Most important, number five on the must-have modification list, not just for the M2 Competition, but for any car, quite frankly, is located right here. Sticker of any description, comfortably an extra 5 brake horsepower per side. We prefer the Car Mad Dad ones. They're available at Control and Shift, link up top and in the bio, but whatever takes your fancy. Right guys, thank you for tuning into the video. I hope you enjoyed it and my must-have 5 modifications for the BMW M2 Competition. But that's my choices. What would you do if it was your car? Would you do something different, a different way? You tell me. I look forward to hearing what you guys think, and thank you again for tuning in. I look forward to seeing you guys soon. Cheers.